Hello folks, thank you for stopping by for my well overdue second episode of Alvin's Red Sea Aquarium. I'll be going from the bottom up in this series by starting with the sump first and then working my way up to the display tank. In this video, I'll be highlighting the sump upgrade for the Red Sea Max E 260. When I was doing research for this aquarium, the info about the sump was hard to find, so I hope this video will be informative enough for those of you who are interested in getting the sump upgrade with the aquarium or thinking of getting the sump if you already have the aquarium, the E260. So with the sump upgrade, you'll be getting the ATO reservoir that holds 2.1 gallons of water, airline tubing with a control valve that connects the reservoir to the float valve. Now the float valve is directly mounted onto the sump. You'll also be receiving two open screen plugs to replace these two that are closed, and it's easy to replace. You just reach into the back of the display tank, unscrew the two that are there, and replace the new ones that you receive. You also will be receiving two 225 micron thin mesh filter bags, or filter socks as a lot of other people call it. Also, you'll be receiving a low density sponge for the bubble trap, several pipes, 3 that you will insert through the top of the display tank with the control, the return nozzle. You'll also be receiving 2 in the bottom, plus the flexible hose to connect your return pump to. As for the sump itself is 19.5 by 19.5, and that's approximate, give or take a few millimeters. As for the float valve is also adjustable. You just have to use a little bit of force, forcing it down to the next position or up to the next position, depending on what level you want your float valve to be. But it is adjustable. As you can see here on the right, there's like a ledge. This is where the reservoir will sit on, and it's actually pretty stable. It's not really that bad. And the gray stuff that you saw that looks like a U, that's the slots for the filter bag. And as for the skimmer chamber is 13.8 by 12.6 inches, and the water height, or the water level, is 8 inches for the skimmer chamber. Now, going into the cabinet, as you can see, I already have the Apex controller, and I'll be getting into that on other videos. I love this Apex controller though. With the aquarium, you also will be receiving the integrated power center. I didn't mount it onto into the cabinet because I already have the Apex. But you will be mounting it here on the right side of the cabinet. You can see the pre-drilled holes, so you can mount the power center to it, and this is what it looks like. Basically, you have this this cover. You slide it right off, and you plug in whatever you have in the aquarium: the heater, the pumps, the skimmer, the lights, and then it all controlled by the switches on the right hand side. Now for the sump upgrade, you see you'll have 3 plugs that needs to be removed, so then you could slide in the pipes through it. The best way for me to remove them is from the other side, the top of the display tank, or the rear chamber of the display tank, because they have these tabs that you can easily grab onto and just twist it, and then you just unscrew it from the aquarium, the bulkhead basically, and you put them to the side. Don't get rid of these things because you never know when you need them again. Now the pipes. You slide these 3 pipes right into the hole, and they stop at a certain point, and then you hand tighten them. Be sure not to over tighten them, because you can break these pipes. I've heard other people with this aquarium that they had nightmares because they broke the pipe. Don't over tighten them. It just has to be just snug, and that's it. The shorter pipe is the main down pipe. The second pipe is the emergency flow, and then of course you have the return pipe. This is what it looks like once you slide it in, twist it, everything is locked into place. Oh, by the way, as you're twisting these pipes, you'll hear like a click, click, click locking type of noise. You keep doing it until you have resistance. Like I said, please don't over tighten it. You can break these pipes right off. Unfortunately, with the amount of money you paid for this aquarium, the pipes are pretty flimsy in a sense. They're not like PVC pipes that are durable and strong. So they're pretty thin. So just a warning to you guys if you're interested in getting them. So as you can see, installing this is really simple. Once you get the pipes from the top, you have the flexible hose in the bottom. Slide that into its place. Slide the nut up and lock it into place. Same thing with the emergency overflow. You slide it into the place. Slide up the nut, lock that into place. You know, you screw it into place, but you're locking it into place. And the same thing with the main down pipe. You can see the control valve that controls the water level for the rear sump in the display tank. Oh, look at the hose. You see how it's like widened in the bottom? Well, my return pump, the piece that connects the hose to my return pump, the nipple was too big for this hose. So I was desperate. Couldn't go to the store to find a piece or anything like that. So I stuck the that end of the hose into a cup of hot water. Let it sit there for a little over a minute or two, and then stretched the hose right over the nipple. And let me tell you, it is a tight fit. I have no problems with it popping off, and it actually worked. So I didn't have to go to the store and try to buy a different type size nipple for the return pump. So here's everything. All the pipes in its place. The hose in its place. Everything is ready to receive water just about. But this is what the sump looks like. Here's my return pump. I'll be going into detail about that return pump as well, which is controlled by my Apex. And it's very, very quiet. Very quiet, this pump. It's really cool. I love this pump. Here's the low density sponge. Slid that right into its spot. And I usually put a little bit of filter right on the top edge of that the sponge. So now I got everything set. Everything is ready to go. The filter socks is also in its place. By the way, you see the left side of the filter sock, that little gray spot, that gray piece? Water, for whatever reason, you can see it's like a little open there. It doesn't push in all the way, so it drives me crazy because water seeps, a little bit of water seeps through that little edge and trickles into the sump where you can actually hear the trickle. So I'm gonna have to figure out something when I finally switch this from fresh water into salt water. I'm gonna come up with something so that I can direct the water to go directly into the filter sock instead of some of it seeping through the side and causing the trickle noise of the water. So let's see what I'll figure that out later on. But that's annoying to me because I know all the water should be going into that filter sock, and some of it is escaping through the side. Not a lot, but still, it's like a trickle. So it's kind of annoying to me because I'm aware of it. So I want to fix that, and I think that's just a little defects on this particular sump. I doubt that happens with all the other sumps, but unfortunately, my sump has that little defect. What are you gonna do? But here you can see the water's flowing in, nice and easy, and then you see the far end on the left, how the water's kind of it's raised, it slide right through that little spot. Here is the ATO reservoir, right in its place. It's sitting on the ledge, plus that barrier, for that glass barrier. So it's in 3 spots where this reservoir is sitting on, and that's pretty much it for that. And I have to apologize also. I'm sorry that I filmed this with my sump being so dirty. I didn't expect it to be this dirty. I thought it was wasn't going to show this much, but it did. So I'll be sure on my next video not to have such a dirty glass. Now, here's another thing. When I purchased this the sump upgrade with this aquarium, because I got everything in one shot, I wasn't aware that there's an upgrade for the screen that covers the skimmer. So the Red Sea comes with a skimmer, and it's covered by this screen that's you see here that's standing. Well, you don't need the skimmer anymore because it's not going to be in the back. So here's the upgrade for this for the sump upgrade. It's a different screen. Now this one is laying flat. I think it's actually nicer. I like it personally. I don't know if you do, but I definitely do. So just to let you guys know, you do have an additional or an addition to the sump upgrade with this screen. It flips from one side to the other, so you can still get into your water temperature gauges, whatever you need to get to the back. It's easy. So thank you for watching. Please hit like or dislike, and subscribe. Take care. Bye bye.